Hello, everybody. This is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. Today, I am doing a listener request. Renasha Bliss, or Tiffany, on one of my videos, posted that she wanted to hear a review of the song Fame by David Bowie. And that is what I'm doing today for this episode of B Sharp and C. Get ready for Fame, live at the BBC by David Bowie. Okay, so today we actually have a listener recommendation. Someone commented, do Fame by David Bowie. I actually don't know. I'll know the song when I hear it. I don't know it right now. If you said to me, what is the song Fame by David Bowie? I wouldn't know it. But as soon as I start listening to it, I'm going to know it. I do not know this performance here in 2000 at the BBC Radio Theater. So that's the one we're going to go ahead and review and listen to. And let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Fame by David Bowie.
An American song, needless to say.
Sorry, guys.
Is it anyone?
I immediately know this song. Immediately know this song. I didn't know the name of the song was Fame, so something. Couple of things that I noticed right away. David Bowie, the jury is still out as to whether or not he's really a good vocalist, but that's all subjective anyways. I feel as though he's a little bit like Lindsey Buckingham, but with vocals instead of with guitar. Lindsey Buckingham admits, and I don't know this about David Bowie, I'm just guessing, but Lindsey Buckingham admits that he had some, a little bit of a not a disability, but at a disadvantage. He thought that he was limited in a lot of ways with how he approached guitar, but in persevering in his approach to guitar, he ended up creating this extremely unique way of playing the guitar that no one has copied. It's essentially uncopyable, and I think David Bowie, who doesn't sound naturally like Pavarotti or even a rock singer. He really doesn't even sound like a rock singer. Has fallen into this mold that perfectly fits the music he writes. So the music he creates, his voice fits absolutely perfect. And the they're very unique. You know it's him the minute you hear it, which I like. By the way, the engineering is really nice on this song too, on this live version. It just sounds nice with the headphones on. Everything's well panned, instrumentation's nice.
What you need, you have to borrow.
Does David Bowie have one brown eye and one blue eye? Brown eye, blue eye. Is that a thing? David Bowie's eyes. David Bowie's eyes appeared different, often giving the illusion of two different colors because his left pupil was permanently dilated due to anisocoria from a 1962 school fight. His friend George Underwood punched him in the eye, damaging the iris and causing the pupil to remain fixed open regardless of light conditions. Wow. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. Let's get back to this song.
That's fine.
I mean, you can hear the two guitars. You have one on the left ear, one on the right ear. I love it. Nice SG. All right, what is this? Isn't it funny? You never see an SG another color. That's the color. Okay, I'm trying to wrap my mind around this musical interlude that we just heard. It was almost like someone was about to play a piano solo and then changed their mind. That's on purpose. Usually musical interludes that are weird um, have to be good. That was just a weird musical interlude that I didn't understand. The piano player plays like three chords. Oh, it's just strange. The drum solo. Something you who can never get tired of is the weird factor with with David Bowie. I Ooh, that's good.
What's your
Okay, so what do I think of that performance? That was actually really raw. That was really nice. There was a lot going on there. With David Bowie, you never really get a lot of crazy instrumentation anyways, so um to expect crazy instrumentation or to expect to be wowed by amazing instrumentation is kind of expecting something that he usually doesn't provide. He doesn't pride himself on being that type of artist. Although he does have some great instrumentation in some of his other songs, because he does appreciate great instrumentation. He's a true artist. David Bowie is, in my opinion, a true artist, and it comes out in his songwriting and in the way he decides to use his voice so that it perfectly fits into the genre that is David Bowie. It's a lot of people could look at it and say it's classic rock. I don't know if I would. I mean, I know he gets lumped in with a lot of classic rock artists, but I don't know if I would just come out myself and say David Bowie was classic rock. I don't know if I would do that, because to me it's progressive, experimental, um, maybe psychedelic rock. I don't necessarily. I know that people say, "Oh, I like David Bowie and I like all those classic rock artists," but it's kind of like Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd gets thrown in. I know I mention Pink Floyd every episode I do, but Pink Floyd gets thrown in to the conversation when it comes to classic rock. But I mean, they started off as progressive, psychedelic, and really continued as progressive and psychedelic. It's just that the instrumentation with Pink Floyd was so fantastic that it rivaled what a lot of people in the classic rock era were doing. You know, David Gilmour's guitar, Roger Waters' note choice when he plays bass, it does not get talked about enough. He wrote a lot of their big concept albums, but on top of that, his note choice when it came to vocals and his note choice when it came to the bass, which the thinking is kind of along the same lines. It's one note at a time. He really didn't focus too much on chords, although he did when he was writing songs. But then when it came time for vocals and a bass line, he really ended up falling into a vocal melody and bass line melody that is just pleasant to the ear. And there's no other way to say it. And David Bowie, I categorize him as a songwriter kind of the same way. He really focuses on the song structure, how it could be different, how he can express himself. But he really, in a lot of his songs, had a lot of eerie vocal melodies that he would sing. And I think that strikes a chord with people. If you have a vocal melody that is pleasant to the ear, and that's what David Bowie is, right? Now, what would I score this? I mean, I would have to take into consideration the fact that this is meant to be what it is, right? This isn't, Leo P at the proms. This isn't Dua Lipa at the Royal Albert Hall. This is David Bowie at BBC, and he doesn't disappoint because you can see and feel with clarity that this is David Bowie. Really nice rendition of the song. Couple moments where I didn't understand the instrumentation, like that interlude with the piano chords, and the very beginning of the song struck me as a little odd. Right here. I mean, you got to give them credit for trying to do something different, and that definitely came out different, right? But it left me with musical questions more than more than musical satisfaction. As I listened to it, and then as the song kicked in, I was thinking more along the lines of, why did they do that? Instead of, wow, that's awesome that they did that. Which, don't, I know I'm laughing, but I'm still waking up, so I have like morning face. But okay, all right. The engineering was nice. His voice didn't disappoint. The presentation was nice, and it is what David Bowie is. Oh, I'm going to give that, it's a solid 7.7. Now, I know that David Bowie fans would probably say it's up in the high 8s or low 9s. But I'm going to give that a solid 7.7, which is a great score. I think if it were I don't know. I almost feel like the gaps where they had opportunities to fill it in with music or something melodically pleasant or something different. I don't know, something that kind of reaches out and grabs you. I feel like the gaps, the spaces in this song, this performance, where they could have done something musical or done something cool with an instrument, I feel like they fell short. I feel like there wasn't a lot of thought put into that part, and this is a very spacious song, but it was also held true to the album. So I'm going to give it a 7-7. Let me know what you think, if you agree with my score. And that's the end of this one. So this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C saying, keep it groovy.